So today is a class that's very special to my heart. We're going to be doing a class of recipes and tips that are easier to swallow, specifically for people who are head and neck cancer survivors. Woohoo! All right. And so here at the Princess Margaret, I see head and neck cancer survivors one-on-one and help people transition from, even being on G-tube feeds, needing nutrition supplements to getting back to having more of a whole foods diet. And so one thing I get asked a lot is, how can I prepare recipes that are going to be good for me, but that I can also share with the whole family? Because you might find some higher calorie, high protein foods that not everybody wants to have, or maybe you require another type of texture in your diet. And so you want recipes that everybody is going to love. So without further ado, I'll bring up Andrea.
Thank you, Christy and Jeremy, for really inviting me today to be part of this class. Yeah. It's a very exciting time for us, and also to be able to collaborate with the two of you. So this is a very unique opportunity for us to talk about specific needs for our head and neck cancer survivors. Many patients, unfortunately, after receiving treatment for head and neck cancer, are not able to get back to eating and drinking like they once did. So side effects, unfortunately, don't stop after treatment finishes, and commonly, these side effects may continue for months or even years after treatment has ended. When it comes to eating and drinking foods like they previously enjoyed, there could be trouble with chewing foods as well as manipulating it in the mouth to get it ready for swallowing. It's very common that we also see food sticking in the mouth as well as at the back of the tongue or in the throat. So food just doesn't go down as easily as it did before. So although swallowing problems, as I explained just now, are very common in head and neck cancer survivors, it should certainly not be ignored, and we should not assume that nothing can be done about it. So there's various strategies that we suggest, and they can range from certain things like by having patients really try to swallow hard or use certain head positions when they swallow to make it easier. And again, everybody is different, and each individual needs are different. So I'd really encourage you, if anyone in the room here today or watching at home can relate to some of these problems and are having some questions or concerns about their swallow, to speak with your doctor and get a referral to see a speech-language pathologist, where we can certainly help you improve that quality of life.
Thank you so much, Andrea.
So this is a spring pea. We're trying to get spring into this kitchen.
We're inviting spring over, and hopefully it will stay.
Doesn't seem like that, but this is pea and avocado soup, really nice creamy soup. Gorgeous color. And what we're going to do is, it's super quick, very, very easy to make. What I've done to start off is just sauteed some leeks. You can do onions as well, either way. About a cup, a little bit of oil over medium heat. And especially with leeks, you want to get them soft. This is going to be a creamy soup. You don't want, leeks can be pretty fibrous, and you don't want it to be too stringy, because that can be problematic. So you want to get them pretty soft. This is probably the hardest part of this recipe. So I would say about 10 minutes, 10, 12 minutes, get them really nice and soft. Get a nice little color on it as well. And then we can go ahead and add our other ingredients. So we have our peas, fresh peas, not ready just yet, but this is a good recipe because I would say soon, hopefully, let's say beginning of May, cross our fingers, we get some nice fresh peas. With frozen peas, there's nothing wrong with frozen peas, that work just as well. So
going for some of the frozen produce is actually a good option. It's quite nutritious because vegetables and fruits are frozen right after they've been picked. So in some situations, they might even have more nutrition than some of the things that are sent from other parts of the world.
Mm-hmm. And flavor. Now, we want to boost the flavor in this without it being too acidic or
spicy,
too irritating. Yeah. So we want to use. Usually, we would use something like a lemon juice in a soup just to brighten it up, to bring up some of the flavors. But we don't want to use the actual acid in this case. So we go for our best friend, the zest of the lemon. You can do this with the orange. You can do this with the lime as well. Absolutely delicious. Just grab your lemon, wash it really well. If you can get an organic lemon, that's one of those cases where I probably suggest the organic lemon, because we're using the zest. And we're going to use our rasp. If you don't have a microplane or rasp, if you have a regular box grater, I don't know if I have it on here, It's usually the rough bit on the outside that you have no idea what it's for.
That's your zester.
That's usually a good one for the zester. So the idea is that we want to take off just the outermost part of the zest, not the white bitter part underneath. And for this, you know what? I really want to punch up this flavor. You can use as much as you want. You know, for anyone's used zest, you can tell as soon as those oils start activating, you can really smell that lemon. So if you want just a little bit, just add just a little bit. And what I like to do is before I'm actually going to add it to the soup, nice little trick is the salt or any salt that you're going to put in the soup, add it to the zest now. What this does, and kind of mix it up, what this does is the oils from that lemon, and this is a great way to make like a flavored salt as well. You can actually let it sit. You have this nice fragrant lemon salt, but the oils from that lemon zest will combine with that salt, and it'll distribute a lot better throughout the rest of the soup. Because now the salt is infused with the lemon, plus you're adding the lemon zest to there as well. So just, I'm just doing it quick, but again, you can do this ahead of time. The longer it sits, the more flavor you'll get into that salt. And we're going to add that.
Another nice thing about using the citrus flavor is you've probably noticed if you have a lemon candy or some lemonade that it really gets your salivary glands working. So one of the side effects from head and neck cancer treatment is xerostomia, or having a dry mouth, as Andrea was talking about. So if we don't want to go for the lemon juice or drinking lemonade, which could hurt a sore mouth, even just the flavor from the lemon zest is really going to help to stimulate some of that saliva production.
And as soon as I add the lemon zest, we're going to cover it with our stock. You can use just regular water if you prefer, but if you have chicken stock or a good vegetable stock from scratch, you can include some more nutrients in there. And all we want to do is bring it to a boil. So once it hits a boil, we're ready to add it to a blender, or if you have a hand blender, you can transfer that right to the pot and blend it right in the pot, make it really nice and creamy. And I have just a couple ingredients. So, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I'll show you.
Jeremy has a really cool trick on how to.
So we're just using half the avocado here. And a little tip, if you want to save the rest of the avocado, leave the stone in. It tends to oxidize a little slower. I don't know if that's true or not. It's still, but if you leave the stone in and you wrap it with saran wrap, it does help. And if you want to take the stone out, maybe a smaller knife. But what you want to do is just crack it into the stone so that it sticks, and then just give it a little twist, and then that pops right out.
So much better than me trying to dig the stone.
Yeah, and it's cleaner. It's a lot cleaner. You don't waste any of the avocado.
You don't waste
Absolutely.
that precious avocado, right?
Exactly. So, up an avocado in. Fresh herbs are great, again, to increase some flavor, and you want to use some milder herbs or maybe some herbs that work for you and that you prefer. Mint is a really nice one. If you want it a little milder, mint can come out pretty predominantly. So if you want a little milder, tarragon is a really nice herb as well. So now, I'm going to transfer carefully to our blender. And add my last two ingredients. This is skim milk powder, which we actually used last week. Great culinary tool to make your soups and smoothies, sauces, really nice and creamy.
We have another really fun ingredient that I love the flavor of. It tastes like, especially when you combine it with dairy, it has like this cheese sauce flavor. It's nutritional yeast. So it's something that you can find at health food stores, and now more and more we're finding
Grocery
it just
stores.
regular grocery stores. And it contains B vitamins, which are important for basically turning the food that you eat into energy in your body. So bear with us while we have a little blending noise happening. What I like about this recipe is you can really tailor it to your own needs.
Absolutely.
So if you notice that the soup is really thick, you can always pour in a little bit of milk and get it the right consistency for you. You can also, as Jeremy was saying, is adjust the seasoning as you go, because your taste may change week to week or month to month. So you want to give it a little sampling while you're making it, and if you find that flavor is not coming out, or you're picking up on some bitter taste, then you can add things to counteract.
Absolutely.
So if you wanted to add something sweet to counteract the bitter, you could do that at this point.
And that's it. So this is, it's obviously warm and it can be served as is warm, or you could chill it. So I would store it in the fridge and you can have it nice and chilled.
If you want to boost up the calories and protein even more, this would be really delicious with some grated cheese on top.
Absolutely.
I also get many cancer survivors to drizzle some beautiful oil, some nice olive oil on top.
And that's it, you know, really, really nice green soup.